You know what? Maybe I came up with an idea after all. Pulled this little Yazoo mower off the curb a couple weeks ago. I'd never even heard of the company. Had to look it up, find out what the heck this thing was, because there's no markings on it other than the Briggs & Stratton motor. And it's made in the US. It's a fine mower, fired right up, even right off the curb. And I know it's missing some parts and it's got a broken arm there for the self-drive, but other than that, it's a good running mower. Just, don't really need it. So let's see if we can do something fun. Okay, motor's out. I want to keep the starter solenoid, probably take off throttle cable, other wiring bundles and things of that nature, just so I can use them if I need to, because this is pretty much just going to go to scrap. Keep the muffler also. Well, a guy made a scrap run this morning with the carcass of the riding mower. Basically got everything that I needed off of it last night. It's at the scrapyard. I got $12 for it. I kept the front tire that was good and both the back tires. So right now, I'm basically just in the process of getting this bad boy taken off of here. I've got one bolt out of the bottom. I've already got the throttle cable disconnected. I think there's 2 more bolts and then this thing should lift right off. Let's go. That one's out. It's a little humid in here. Okay, just like pulling a tooth. Is that hooked up something? That is hooked up something. There we go. That's the kill switch. And you got, there she is. One net. Not too bad. Let me go and clean that off so it's not all grody. Okay, while the deck is outside drying, I'm going to do a couple measurements on this thing just to see the differences between the two. Yep, she'll fit. Groovy. I'm going to go ahead and chase all the mounting holes just so I know that everything threads together nice. Helps if you go the right way. Come on, get started. Find that first thread. There we go. I wonder what everybody else is doing right now. Oh yeah, they're all on the Hot Rod Power Tour. Wish I was there. But some of us still have to work for a living. Speaking of which, I'm starting my Patreon page. So if any of y'all like to check it out, I'm going to show you how to get there. Basically go to patreon.com and look up Mr. Trenbo. You'll find my page. Not right now. It'll be coming up. Hopefully in about a month. That's number 1. 3 more to go. Okay, let's see if our fitment's a little bit better. I put these 1-inch blocks, or basically just 1-inch wood underneath it to kind of set it up, because I know I'm going to be putting spacers underneath it. The shaft on this, I think, is about 3 inches long. The bottom of the pulley on the old mower was at 2 inches, so I'm going to have some room to play a little bit. Yeah, come on now. Okay, that's looking better. Let's see if I can keep the... that's not exactly centered. I'm going to have to put it side cockeyed just a little bit, I think, to clear the oil filter from the tire over on this side. That's looking pretty good. I think that's just about centered. I think I can... pretty close to the rim. Yep, okay. Gonna have to reconfigure that. It might not be self-propelled when I'm done with this. So, oh well. The main thing is that it fires up and runs. You know what? I think this will work. It's not perfectly centered, but then again, it's belt driven, so who gives a crap? Go ahead and get bolt number 1 installed. Like that, then run this up from the bottom. These holes are pretty snug. Yeah, I might have to punch those holes out a little bit bigger, or at least that one. Okay, there we go. I got 2 of the holes fairly close. There we go. That's the right size. Alright. Switch over to a little bit deeper bit. Okay, well, let me know if you can't hear me over the fan, because y'all are mounted right next to it. Got everything cleaned up because, call me a prude, but I don't like annealing on metal shards. Yeah. Come on now. Ow. She's pretty darn close. Close enough anyway for now. I can get at least 1 bolt started. Where is it? Here it is. There we go. Here's one started. What'd you get for kind of shooting from the hip on this? There we go. She's mounted with not 1, not 2, not even 3 bolts, but all 4. Now. Okay, well, I know it's getting a little late in the day, but I basically spent the afternoon wiring and getting things set up for electrical system. I went ahead and mounted the battery on the front here. This is a piece of angle iron cut from a bed frame. I have a spring on this side. The ground is bolted directly to the deck. with one of the original mount holes. And then same thing over here. This rod runs straight down through. I decided to mount the battery here because it seemed like the most practical place. Instead of putting it back here, I think the weight transfer, if I had it at the back, would be just way too much weight. So I ran another battery cable. This is a little bit thinner gauge. Hopefully it holds up. Back here to the start solenoid, I have the ground ran over to this side and bolted on next to the throttle assembly. The chassis ground is hooked up, and then the engine ground is basically hooked up to the front of the valve cover. Just kind of out of the way. I can reroute that later on, but I'm just trying to get this thing kind of running. When I work the throttle, as you can see, it moves freely. So I think that should be pretty much where it needs to go. I think I'm about ready to go ahead and try and crank it over. It's not going to start. I don't have fuel hooked up to it yet, and I don't have the fuel solenoid hooked up, which is this wire right here, so I'll just have to touch that to get it to open. And actually, I mean, there it goes. See if we can hear it from this side. Yep, it's opening. I don't know if this is a heavy duty enough battery to crank this over. This is just an extra one I had sitting around. I guess let's see if she cranks. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of juice. I have kind of an open exhaust. I'm going to have to move this because it's going to be blowing right on that battery cable, and I don't want it to burn through. But it cranks. Now then, the pulley I have on order, so I had to order it through tractorsupply.com. Other than that, the thing's just about ready to go. I kind of want to try and fire it, so let's see. Okay, let me at least make sure it has spark at this point. There's my spark plug. Hopefully y'all can see it. Come on. Oh, I think she's run out of juice. Oh yeah, there was a spark. Okay, she's gonna work. I'm gonna have to charge that battery back up because she's getting pretty weak. Well, as Hurricane Ida rolls through Mississippi and the last couple tails of weather come across the Gulf Coast, we have a little bit of rain and wind. This is actually dying down. I might as well jump back on the projects. Okay, so when I touch this wire to the battery, I should hear my carburetor solenoid opening. But it's not doing anything. So let me take this off. Let me take the solenoid back off. I might have it hooked up backwards. I don't know if it matters. Or it's gummed up again, possibly. See, it's getting gummy again. Very slow action. So I need to clean this up, apparently. I'm just going to take that carburetor off and get that cleaned up because I think it's just going to keep getting this thing full of gross nastiness. So let me get that apart and clean it up. Ugh. Take a picture of the configuration of the rods here on top of the carburetor, because I can never remember. There we go. Carefully take off the gasket. Yeah, let me get this cleaned up. So it's a little cruddy. I'm going to try and get the bowl off and just make sure everything's good and working order. Got to bust out the big dog to get these screws broken loose. Okay, here's that one. There it goes. Or I just need to secure it better. Either way. Don't break the gasket. There it is. Ew. Okay. See that yumminess? Yep. That's probably why it keeps getting gummed up. This whole float assembly. Never seen one like that before. Interesting. But, okay. Get that stuff all cleaned up. That is crazy looking. Great. Stupid rod slid out when I was trying to clean it. I didn't even hear it, didn't even see where it went. It just fell apart all of a sudden. Of course. Okay. If I can find a broken punch tip on the floor behind a C-130, I'm pretty sure I can find this. Oh, there it is. Cool, got it. I knew you didn't go far. Okay, I got this crazy little O-ring weird gasket thing here without breaking it. Taking that off. Looks like there might have been a seal on that. And there's the float valve. So I'm going to get that cleaned up. I have carburetor cleaner sitting in the bowl. And we've got basically everything is just kind of soaking in fluids. So to press on. Okay, our funky gasket is back on. As you can see on the bottom of here, of this plate, there's lines that kind of correspond, and this is your float valve, goes in the hole right there, kind of off center. Now it feels like there's an O-ring around that, so hopefully that's in good shape because I'm not replacing it. Put your little float valve inside there, drop it together, and then insert the needle and make sure you don't lose that again. And there it is. Okay, well, this is where I say, man, an ultrasonic cleaner would have been awesome. But as you can see, I got the majority of the goo out, so that's the main thing. A little bit of staining left, some small pieces, but nothing that should affect the performance of this. That. There we are, I think. Looks good to me. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Okay. Now that the cover's back in place, let's see if all that hard work paid off. Okay, here goes nothing. Yep. Okay. solenoid works good now that's not all gummed up and gross. Alright, for now I don't have any switches hooked up. I have an alligator clip on the solenoid for the carburetor, and that'll basically be my kill switch, I guess. So I'm going to clamp that onto the positive battery to start it until I can come up with something a little more permanent later on. Okay, so everything's ready to be kind of fired up, so who wants to see this thing run? Alright, I apologize, I know it's backlit, but we're going to get a little two-stroke fuel going down in here. Okay, put that back up on there for now, I guess. Fuel solenoid. Ready to click. And here we go. Alright, well, that didn't take long at all. It fired right up. That is open header. So let me get you from a different angle. Alright, do this again. Yep, she runs out of fuel. Yeah, okay, need a muffler for sure. But it's a runner. Okay, well, that's pretty much as far as I can get it, other than wiring up like an ignition switch and things. I'm still waiting on that pulley, so until the pulley gets in, I can't go and get my belt because I don't know which length to get. Right on, here we go. $23 later, I have a new pulley that fits a 1-inch bore shaft, and I also have a new keyway. Thank you, Tractor Supply. Let me get those installed and then measure for the belt. A little bit of lube to make everything happy. There it goes. Okay, looks like it's still lined up.
Appointments online at www.trycareonline. You may experience up to a 11-minute wait.
Alright, got the right belt on there. Seems to be nice and snug. It's an inch shorter than the original belt. I have to try and get this keyway back in. There it goes.
You may experience up to a 10-minute wait.
Please ignore the recording as I'm trying to make an appointment. I got important stuff to do. Can't be waiting on the phone forever. Here we go. Alright. Very good. So the original belt was 47 inches, this one's 46. Had to, I think I got it through Advanced Auto. Here we go. Nice and snug. Ready to go. Okay, well, now that my belt is hooked up, this thing's ready to go, I'm going to need an ignition switch of some sort. So I have a toggle switch here, 3-position. You got off, on, and then temporary closed. Spring action. So I can use this for my carburetor solenoid and the start solenoid. That'll be great. Just going to use this piece of aluminum, make a little panel to mount to the handlebars, and she'll be ready to go. Yep, sometimes it's just easier to break it off. I do believe that drill bit is a little wobbly. Yeah, I was going to go ahead and use self-tapping screws or whatever to attach this, but you know what's easier than that? Pop rivets. Oh, it went down inside the motor. I'm sure they're fine. Alright, time to wire. As you can see, I got the fancy fuel tank hooked up. Yeah, it's Gatorade. So I was going to put the fitting on the top here, or on the bottom, flip it over so I could fill through the top, but I ended up splitting it by accident. So it's not going to seal, so I'm putting it on like this. If I can do this without spilling. Instead of doing the blue mix, Mystic Blueberry, I'm going to do the lemon lime. It's got electrolytes. That's what John Deere's crave. Okay, time to do some mowing. Loud. I don't have a charging system set up on it yet, so I think that's just like one wire I gotta connect. Let's see, I need to reconfigure my fuel tank a little bit better. It is definitely having some running issues. Needs tuned just a little bit, but it runs and it works, so that's awesome. I want to get this video out to y'all so you can enjoy it. There you go. It is a functional push mower with 19.5 horsepower. Oh, yeah, that is awesome. That was for Sean, by the way. Yeah, it works. Awesome. So, hope y'all like it. Please hit that like button if you thought that was a cool project. I certainly did. But if you want to see some more content like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure that you hit that bell so you'll get notifications when more videos come out. Until next time, this is Mr. Trenbo signing off. I will see you on the next video. God bless.